A happy holiday weekend. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving as the Furman Paladins set to host the Tusculum Pioneers in this holiday Timmons Arena showdown. Welcome courtside. Bryant Lambert alongside Faxon Childress. And Faxon, Furman coming off the Charleston Classic, got a big win over South Carolina their last time out.
Yeah, big win over South Carolina and should see a lot of points here today. Two high-powered offense with the Pioneers and the Paladins.
Taking a look at the players to watch. First, Tusculum, Anade Legis comes in, averaging highest point total on the team this year.
Yeah, 17-7 for Anade Legis, and this Pioneer squad is a team that can put up a lot of points in a hurry, so it definitely should be a spot that Legis can thrive in here today.
For the Paladins, it's the fifth-year senior Mike Bothwell. He was named to the Charleston Classic All-Tournament team. He's the reigning Southern Conference Player of the Week.
Yeah, we know what Mike Bothwell can do. If you know Furman basketball, you know that this is a true three-level scorer. The stats speak for themselves. The SoCon Player of the Week speaks for himself. This is going to be a first-team All-SoCon player.
Paladins are going to look to distribute the basketball, a chance to continue some home court dominance as we close out the tip-off between the Paladins and the Pioneers. There you see the head coach for the Pioneers, J.T. Burton, in his fifth year at the helm of the Pioneers, a Tennessee Wesleyan grad back in the late 90s. Did a really good job reviving him. Tusculum in the top 10 in the Southeast D2 poll.
Yeah, and you know, this Tusculum team is one that wants to go fast. That's Burton's philosophy. They want to score points, putting up 91 a game this season, Brian.
For the Paladins, head coach Bob Ritchie, now in his sixth season at the Paladins, nearly 115 wins. Really a fun victory for him last time out, beating the Gamecocks, a team he grew up following, and they just didn't beat South Carolina. Coach Ritchie's squad down in Charleston really took it to the Gamecocks.
Bob Ritchie and the Paladins showing that, you know, they think it's their state, not South Carolina State, with a big win over the Gamecocks out there in Charleston.
Tusculum and the Paladins meeting for the second time all time. Last meeting back on November 25th, 2020. Ironically, the first time post-COVID that either team took to the basketball court. It was a resounding victory for the Paladins. So a nice little nugget there that the last time these two played, it was testing, it was a mask, it was all the protocol. So a little different scenario surrounds this one, Faxon.
Yeah, back to normalcy, and you know, it should be a fun one here between Furman and Tusculum. Bryant mentioned a little bit earlier, this Tusculum team's averaging 91 points per game on the season. They can put up points in a hurry, and we know Bob Ritchie's Paladins love to run and shoot the three ball as well.
The Paladins went down to the Charleston Classic, dropped a close one to Penn State and Old Dominion. Games they got down big and came back. Penn State had them on the ropes with about a couple minutes to go. It was a one-point game and then couldn't close it out, and came back to finish up the Classic down at TD Arena in Charleston with that victory we talked about over South Carolina. Furman in the home whites. Tusculum in the road blacks, half-court man-to-man defense. The Paladins come out at. Trying to get it down low on the block, just off the glass and in. And tell you what, we highlighted him early, and there you see Tusculum trying to go right to the big fella.
Anade Legis, definitely the best player for this Pioneer squad. They want to get it to him on the block. Not a threat to really shoot the jumper, but is going to bang bodies inside and try and get those layups and dunks.
Bothwell had it knocked away, touched the inline, will stay with the Paladins. 18 on the shot clock. We talked about Mike Bothwell in that Charleston tournament, averaged 20 points, 5.7 assists, and almost 5 rebounds in those 3 games, named to the all-tournament team. And here early on, Bothwell at the top of the key all the way, and an easy layup off the glass. Faxon, you got to respect his shot beyond the arc, and that's opened up some driving lanes.
Yeah, that's just too easy right there for Mike Bothwell. You mentioned his shot, 38% clip from 3 on the season. Right there, they overplay the 3 ball, and he does what he does so well. Gets to the cup and uses that left hand.
Ball sent to the corner, 3 ball on the way by Krupp is knocked down, and Tusculum's come in and hit their first 2 shots from the field, an early 3-point lead.
Yeah, and Tusculum's not going to be afraid to match the pace that Furman wants to play at. This team is capable of putting up points in a hurry, and they're going to shoot the 3 ball and play their game.
Pegues, still plenty of time, sends it over to Bothwell. Tend to shoot Bothwell down low, can't get the short shot to fall. Rebound taken down by the Pioneers. This Tusculum team comes in, he talked about like to shoot the 3 ball. They're good at it. Near 40% from long range as a team in their first 2 wins.
Looks like KJ Crump lost a shoe there. He's trying to jam it back on over there in the corner. Another 3 ball goes up. That one won't fall.
Halfway down and out. Vanderwall, the talented freshman, gets the rebound for the Paladins. Quickly into the front court. Bothwell leaves it off to Slauson. His turnaround hook shot is good, and you see early on the Paladins trying to pound it down low with all 3 shots coming in the paint.
Yeah, and Bothwell with a really quick first step there, catching off the advanced pass and does a good job of dumping it off into the dunker spot. Slauson corrals it, able to have that nice hook shot in for 2.
Into the lane off the glass, can't get the fall. Slauson with the rebound. Slauson, the second leading scorer in this Paladin team, comes in averaging nearly 15 points a game, go along with nearly 6 rebounds. One of 2 Furman players averaging in double figures, but don't let that deceive you. Pretty balanced scoring as that backdoor pass is out of bounds. Will stay with the Paladins. You have Tyrese Huey averaging nearly 10. Garrett Heen 8.5 and 8 for Marcus Foster. Garrett Heen not playing today, a little tightness, so being held out for precautionary measures, but he had a career high 20 points in that win over South Carolina.
Yeah, and you know, this Paladin squad, what I love about it is how balanced the attack is offensively. You know, you mentioned guys like Tyrese Huey, who's averaging 9 and 3, coming off the bench, playing a big man role. And then you can also go to a guy like Marcus Foster, who started in the majority of the games this season. He's averaging 8 and 4. A little bit of a lineup wrinkle here from Bob Ritchie with no Heen today. Maybe a little bit of a different strategy, but you know, this team is deep. They've got scorers off the bench, and their offensive attack is very balanced.
First turnover for the Paladins here. About 3 minutes going. Tusculum with the early 1-point lead. Crowder thought about a 3. And now Crump off the mark. Vanderwall with the weak side rebound. You see Tusculum not afraid to let it fly earlier. Nice find to Slauson, who lays over the front of the rim. 1, 2, 3. Nice ball movement. Only 1 or 2 dribbles down the whole court.
Yeah, transition offense so smooth there for Furman, and it's created by a great defensive possession. They kill the wing ball screen right in front of us. Bryant ends up taking a settle shot for Tusculum. They turn it into quick offense on the other end.
Down low off the glass, can't get it to fall. Vanderwall back-to-back rebounds. Furman going quick. Pegues up to Slauson, has it stripped away. Jalen Slauson was going up for a dunk. Nice defensive play by the Pioneers. Quickly the other way, Joe Anderson comes back to knock it out of bounds, and they'll stay with the Pioneers.
Yeah, and James West did a good job of getting his right hand in there, or else it looked like Slauson was going up for another one of his, you know, notorious highlight reel dunks. Great hands, good recognition, and they get out on the break. Poked out of bounds by Furman, but Tusculum really competing here, wanting to play with pace early on.
Vanderwall out for the Paladins, and coming in, you have Tyrese Huey, as well as Carter Witt, the transfer from Wake Forest. And tell you what, Furman in the backcourt, a plethora of options, and Coach Ritchie telling us, hey, every one of them can play, every one of them will play and contribute to this team.
Yeah, I was really impressed by Witt and some of the minutes he gave down in the Charleston Classic, and you know, only averaging 4, 3, and 2 on the season, but still kind of figuring out the level of play, the transfer from Wake Forest. We know how talented he is, and when he gets going, he's tough to stop.
Trying to get it down low. Witt working against Joshua Scott, who gets it to go. The 6'5 senior out of Florida puts the Pioneers back in front 1.
Yeah, and Scott only averaging 2 points and 1 rebound on the year. Hasn't really been a rotational piece early on for Tusculum. Gets the bucket there.
Open 3 for Mike Bothwell. He'll knock that down. Almost 40% on the season from long range. Paladins now back up 2. And tell you what, you kind of got to pick your poison if you're Tusculum as they try to respond, and they do by Crowder. If Furman's able to have success down low in the paint, that's going to lead to inside-out opportunities. That's what happened on that last Bothwell 3.
Yeah, it was great offense there by the Paladins, but Jalen Crowder able to respond. Bryant, he's shooting 57% from 3 on the season, 14-point-per-game scorer. If there's someone to hone in on for the Paladins from the three-point line, you can't let Crowder get a shot off.
Huey sends it out to Witt. Straightaway 3 on the way. In and out. Rebound taken down by Brown. Good look there by the Paladins. Furman now 1 of 2 from long range. Media timeout, net whistle. Fast moving first 5 minutes. 3-pointer on the way. Crowder no good. Tyrese Huey there for the rebounds.
And I'm really impressed with Huey's game. I thought he gave some great minutes in Charleston as well. He had one game where he was almost the focal point offensively for the Paladins. It's going to be interesting to see his progression, you know, as his career goes along. He could be one of the next guys under Bob Ritchie to take that massive leap.
Redshirt sophomore as he goes down the left side of the lane off the glass. No, I'll tell you what, he's a player that really evolved in those redshirt years. Coach Ritchie and his staff really taking advantage of being able to work with players. I tell you what, to do that, you got to have depth, because the players that have redshirted, that tries to find Bothwell almost out of bounds, saved, is they could come in and make an impact, but you have the ability to say, hey, 2 or 3 guys are ahead of them. Their minutes may not be exactly what they could be in years to come, and they evolve over the course of that redshirt freshman campaign.
Yeah, when you have Jalen Slauson in front of you, it's hard to get minutes, but if your Tyrese Huey just continues to work, put his head down. You mentioned he's a redshirt sophomore. You got to imagine next year he's going to be inserted into the starting lineup as either the 4 or the 5 for this Paladin team, so some valuable minutes for him to be playing this year and learning.
Three-pointer on the way. That one's off the mark. Furman dominating the boards early, doubling up rebounds. Nice find by Foster up to Huey, who's fouled. It'll be Huey at the line to shoot two. You see how quickly Furman's wanting to go down the court.
Yeah, the Paladins pushing it. We've got a high-paced battle here in Timmons Arena. Tusculum 12, Furman 9.
Sometimes the finish line is just beyond that guy from the gym, Taylor. Or is it Tyler?
Our Fairbanks, Alaska store is closest to the North Pole, which has folks wondering, does Santa shop at the Home Depot?
No comment. No comment.
No comment. There's a lot of Nicks in this town.
Somebody made the naughty list.
These tiny gloves are the most popular. We don't know why.
It's elves.
Come on, Bryce.
Find everything you need to make the holidays yours, and maybe Santa?
Santa, I'm Keith.
At the Home Depot, how doers get more done.
I've never seen a big guy wear flip-flops.
With Metro.
Imagine even more savings involved video calling, more sharing every memory, so happy together.
Get a free 5G tablet only at Metro.
This telecast of Furman College basketball is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Bon Secours, healthcare for the universe of you. By Ingles, low prices, love the savings. And by Pepsi, that's what I like. Bryant Lambert, Facts and Chill, just back with you from Timmons Arena. An early 3-point lead for Tusculum. Furman to the line for Tyrese Huey shooting two. And tell you what, you said the Pioneers weren't going to be afraid to come out and sling it from long range. Already hit 2 of them, but tried 6 from downtown.
Yes, 6 of their 11 shots have come from 3-point range. And, you know, when you're coming in as the underdog, you may as well let it fly. You know you're capable of putting up points in a hurry, and got the lead here early on the Paladins.
First free throw was knocked in. Paladins on the season just about 70% clip from the line. One more coming up for the sophomore out of Columbus, Ohio. Knocks them both down, and that'll give the Paladins a chance for a little full court pressure. You see Johnny Lawrence in for the first time, redshirt junior out of Orlando, Florida. Banged up the first couple games this season, but he's proved some big minutes, especially in that Furman comeback against Penn State in the opening game of the Charleston Classic. Johnny Lawrence came in and helped key a couple of the runs in that second half. A wide open three-pointer on the way. Jordan, who knocks it down right in front of the Furman bench.
Yeah, and Connor Jordan shooting 67% from 3 on the season coming into this one. A small sample size, but is averaging 8 points per game. Obviously a capable player and shooter, and where Furman got in some trouble against Penn State and Old Dominion, both giving up open looks on the wing and corner. Tusculum able to get one right there.
Foster gets his own rebound, couldn't get it to go. A whistle and a foul. It'll be 2 coming up the line for Marcus Foster. I think the key for Furman offensively, they're going to be able to get looks down low. Can you stay patient? A nice job there getting the rebound and avoiding the push in the back.
Yeah, and a clear foul there. A little bit of a late whistle, but Marcus Foster definitely got fouled. Will go to the line where he's shooting 78% from the free throw line on the season.
Junior out of Atlanta knocks down the first. Furman a perfect 3 of 3 from the line as Mason Bierster, the senior out of Duluth, checks in for Tusculum. Both teams shooting an even 50% from the field. Tusculum, though, with 4 more shot attempts. Just a 2-point game now as Tusculum with the basketball.
Yeah, and if you're Furman, I think you gotta bring some energy here on the defensive end and set the tone. Giving up 15 points in 7 minutes is unacceptable to a team like Tusculum. Yes, they're capable of putting up points, but you gotta have energy. You gotta show more intensity.
Witt guarding top of the key, working against Jordan now with the basketball. Bierster with 7 to shoot. Latest the shot clock's been here in the first 8 minutes. Step back jumper doesn't hit the rim. Rebound by Foster. There's some of that energy. Baxton, you mentioned quickly the other end. Johnny Lawrence will fire a 3 and knock it down. Dribble handoff. And Johnny Lawrence gives the Paladins the lead again by 1.
And Bryant, what a luxury it is for Bob Ritchie to just have a 6'10" guy that can shoot threes in transition coming off the bench. Great energy by the Paladins on the last defensive possession. Marcus Foster with some good hands there, and that'll be a block. I think he was on the line.
Was there in plenty of time. The official pointing to that restricted area. Getting a hand on it was Marcus Foster, and then you see the contact. Non-shooting foul, and it'll be 20 on the shot clock. Throw in along the baseline.
And good communication there. It was an elevator play coming out of the out-of-bounds play, and Carter Witt did a great job with some communication from his bench to be able to deny that, force Tusculum into an uncomfortable pass, and Paladins forced a turnover as a result of that.
First turnover for the Pioneers. In fact, just kind of when you called for a little bit of that defensive energy, a lot of hand movement, a lot of deflections, and there Huey hasn't knocked out of bounds. Will stay with Furman. That defense has led to some good looks on the other side.
Yeah, and it all starts on defense for this Paladins team. I think that you could ask anyone in the country. We know Furman's going to be able to put up points against anyone who they're matched up against. They put up points against Penn State, who's going to be a tournament team. But you got to be able to guard, too. You got to be a well-rounded team. This Paladin team is capable defensively when engaged, but it's just, can you be engaged for a full 40 minutes, and can you play a complete defensive game?
Vanderwall runs it down to the backcourt. 1 point Furman lead here. Just under 8 minutes going. First half on this Friday after Thanksgiving affair. Witt slips around the block, and it'll be the 4th Paladin turnover.
Yeah, 4 turnovers here early in the first 8 minutes for the Paladins. Currently losing the turnover battle, so not super ideal, but I do think you're getting good looks on offense, and obviously you're going to have whatever you want for the majority of the game inside, so just stay patient, stick to your principles, and win the game on this end. That's a settle shot right there for Tusculum.
Battle for the rebound, offensive board. Nice pass down low, but as Vanderwall deflects it out of bounds, and it'll be Pioneer basketball when we come back. 11:51 to go in the opening half. Tusculum hanging close here in Timmons Arena.
Some days it feels like you could run forever. Until you're way, way out there. And you're 2 hours late and you need a ride home.
This is a personalized ad. It helps you find good ideas. This is Jada, who found one. And here's Greg, badly in need of a good idea. You see, you can discover a small business at any moment. Oh look, it's that moment when a good idea helps make a moment a better moment. You get the idea. Good ideas deserve to be found. Personalized ads help you find them.
And tonight's winning numbers are 18, 55, 39, 71, and 43.
43?
Those numbers again.
We won! Yes!
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
I'll hold on to that.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
One point Furman lead, 11:51 to go in this opening half. Tusculum shooting 43% from the field. Furman 56% from the field. You'll see Garrett Heen right there in the suit walking off the right of your screen, not in uniform today. More of a precautionary thing, a little bit of muscle tightness, nothing to worry about. But tell you what he did down in Charleston, especially in that last game, really impressive. And you may see, Johnny Lawrence and others get some minutes after Heen's not playing, coming off that career high.
Yeah, 20 points and was just absolutely massive. Dominated the interior for the Paladins, and if he can continue to develop as we've seen over the past couple of years, just another piece for Bob Ritchie's Paladins to throw into the puzzle.
Sent to the corner, three-pointer on the way, off the mark. Should be a foul, not called. It looked like a lot of contact by Bierster down low. And it will go to the Paladins anyway, as Tusculum came in battling for the rebound. And
it looks like Mike Bothwell got clipped around the neck right there to no avail.
It's from our angle. Ball goes out of bounds. The Paladins chance to extend the lead. Points in the paint, even at 6 apiece. Furman with 7 points coming off the bench. Balance scoring between Foster, Lawrence, and Huey.
And a Twins look here after the timeout. You know, Bob Ritchie's definitely drawn something up to try and get a look right here, and we'll see what direction they go. I'm going to assume this is going to go to Slauson.
5 to shoot. Here's Pegues. Now Bothwell with 2 on the shot clock. He'll just have to pull up three-pointer. That's a bit too strong. Vanderwall skies for the rebound. Anderson finds a cutting Slauson. He's double-teamed. A wide open Vanderwall. Tell you what, Tusculum doing a nice job scrambling defensively. Slauson down low. Blocked from behind, gets it back with 3 on the shot clock. A nice job by Jalen Slauson. Where he's matured, especially over the last 2 years, is staying in control, not, you know, getting too aggressive, lowering that shoulder, and there stays through the block and pushes the Paladin lead to 3.
And that all starts with shot clock recognition. Slauson notices it's at 10, comes to the high post. He could have the snap to Bothwell coming off that flash to the high post, chooses to tuck it himself, gets to the cup, and gets 2.
Jordan all the way to the glass, lays it up and in. Got past Joe Anderson and back to a 1-point game.
Yeah, quick first step there from Connor Jordan, and an impressive left-handed layup coming to the inside hand, cuts the lead to 1.
Bothwell cut off under the basket. Pegues will let the three-pointer fly and knock it down. Paladins now have hit 3 from long range. And the lead's at 4. That matches the Paladins. There's the Paladins' largest lead here.
And the staff's going to love to see that one go through. J.P. Pegues, 36% from 3 on the season, but I feel like his offensive progression is really the, you know, the X factor for this Furman Paladin team long term.
Great defense, forces a tough shot. Paladins now going quick. Bothwell into the front court, sends it to the corner of Vanderwall. A nice job getting back defensively by the Pioneers. And consequently, Faxon, good job Furman not forcing it there, just transitions into the half-court offense.
Yeah, maturity right there, being patient. This offense, if I had to describe it thus far, very patient. Mike Bothwell right there, getting to his spot. That's his weak hand. If anyone's tuning in and doesn't know that Mike Bothwell is left-handed, he is indeed, but he's just as good with that right hand.
That three-pointer off the mark. I think they're going to get a foul on Bothwell boxing out down low. It will be the 5th year's first and the second Furman team foul.
Bryant, wrap it back to J.P. Pegues. I think it is just so pivotal that he continues to progress offensively. There we see the Bothwell layup. We know what he can do, but if Pegues and Bothwell can kind of become that combo in the backcourt, both averaging double-digit points per game, then I think that just unlocks a whole different level offensively for this Paladin team. So really good to see Pegues knock in the 3, and then we know what Mike Bothwell is going to do.
Shot clock now in single digits, under 10. Whistle and a turnover, a walk, the 3rd turnover for Tusculum. Slauson a little slow to get up as you take another look. Nice defense there without fouling. And tell you what, that left elbow, incidental contact kind of to the left eye cheek area for Jalen Slauson.
Yeah, and Slauson's appealing right now to the bench and the referees for a flagrant, as he felt like that may have not been incidental contact, could appeal for a flagrant 1, even if it is incidental contact, not a basketball move, but refs are going to call it a common foul and move on. Nonetheless, good to see Slauson okay after getting his bell rung a little bit.
Tell you what, that's a nice job by Coach Ritchie and the staff. Slauson looked up and they just said, hey, move on, shake it off. And they're just on the other end. Wow. That's shaking it off. Big time move, and that's why he's getting looked at by NBA scouts across the country. Furman, a 12-2 run over the last 5 minutes, slowly pushes the lead now to 8.
And you can tell what Jalen Slauson worked on this offseason. He's got such a command in that high post now. Feels comfortable taking it off the dribble. Didn't know he had the spin move in the bag. A great move there by Slauson for 2.
Furman's hit their last 3 from the field, and it's all started on this defensive end. Paladins can push this lead to double digits. Slauson, top of the key. Could have kicked it to the corner, instead all the way down low, counted in a foul, as Marcus Foster will say, I'll handle the old-fashioned three-point play. Nice job not settling for the outline look, and there you see, hard contact and finishes through it.
Yeah, good job not settling by first Slauson and then Foster. Both could have let that look fly from three. Slauson elects for a little overhead whip pass, goes to Foster. Foster's like, you know what, let me get to my spot. I can beat this guy off the dribble. Gets to the cup, uses his muscle, and one.
Joe Anderson checks out. Bob Ritchie spends about 30 seconds here talking to him about defensive possession there on the far side, coaching him up. And now Furman's pushed the lead to 11 as we approach the under 8 timeout. 10-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Furman's hit their last 5 for the field.
Yeah, and you know, the Paladins have really become engaged defensively, starting to slow down this Pioneer offense, and that's why they're getting a lot of good looks offensively. He's going to be out of bounds right there. It'll be Paladin ball after the break.
3-minute scoring drought for Tusculum. The Paladins now put some separation, up 11 here in Timmins.
Are you kidding me? Is that for me?
How?
Oh, can't wait to see what you got your mother.
The BMW Road Home Sales Event, on now. Through November 30th, your purchase of a new BMW will help provide 200 meals to local families in need.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
You fired up the grill for one hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dogs, better with Pepsi.
This is no sleepy-headed, moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
There you see Mac Ritchie there in the middle. Oldest child of Furman coach Bob Ritchie. He's seen a lot of wins in this arena, and that's because, quite frankly, Baxton Furman has dominated over the last 7+ years, essentially the last 3 years. Almost impossible to beat in Timmins Arena. Again, this crowd not as big, holiday weekend, students not in town, but tell you what, Belmont earlier this year, this place packed out. Furman knocked off a very, very good Belmont team, and then SoCon opponents come in here, and it's the hardest place to play in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, in the Ritchie era at Furman, this has been almost impossible to come in and take a game off of the Furman Paladins. So very impressive, just the continued success for this Furman squad, able to defend home court every time they play here.
Yeah, Jason Johnley, Drew Ingram, and staff have done a nice job of kind of the non-basketball aspect of these Furman games. Have the student bleachers now that can sit behind both baselines, the Wickerweed bar on the other end. Great atmosphere, and a nice pass to Bothwell, who gets the friendly roll. Mike Bothwell now with 9.
I really think part of the reason Mike Bothwell is so dominant is just his ability to not know which one is his offhand. I mean, finishing around the cup with both hands is something that's absolutely vital to play at a Division I level, and Mike Bothwell does it better than anyone else. And how about a steal right there on the defensive end to get some more offense started?
Furman, 13-point lead with the basketball, slowly putting a lot of distance between the Paladins and the Pioneers. Tell you what, Fax, you talked about Furman, a nice job being patient on offense, really waiting for the good shot. They're trying to get it down low. Last touch by Huey, and it'll be out of bounds. Furman turns it over for the 5th time.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, a lot of maturity, a lot of poise from this Paladin squad. Right there, you see a great pass by JP Pegues, a great cut to the dunker spot right outside the restricted area by Mike Bothwell, and maybe a little bit of a matchup zone look here from Furman. Going to high hedge the ball screen.
Furman shooting 65% from the field. Has held Tusculum scoreless the last 4 minutes in the midst of this 12-0 run.
Yeah, Tusculum came out red hot.
Pioneers now down to 37% from the field. Far side three-pointer on the way. Thunderbook off the mark. Rebound by the Paladins, and here comes into the front court Marcus Foster.
I thought Foster may have had an over-the-shoulder look to Jalen Slauson, but a great slice play right there. Back door is wide open for Foster to put it in for 2. Great play call, great execution there from the Paladins.
Foster now with 7. All 5 players on the court right now have scored for Furman as the lead up to 15.
And Slauson did such a good job of selling that slice screen as well, and easy dump in there as Huey gets beat down low.
Nice pass by Scott over the top. Foster sends it down low, and see Slauson thought about it, and Coach Ritchie's saying don't force it. And tell you what, back-to-back turnovers by the Paladins as Huey stepped on the sideline.
Yeah, and some careless turnovers here for Furman would be my only critique offensively. Played a pretty good offensive half, but got to clean it up a little bit, and a lot of them are avoidable turnovers. You know, it's not really pressure being applied by Tusculum right there. Huey's got an open shot, just steps on the line. Looks like we got a 1-3-1 half-court press being enacted by Furman here, trying to ramp up the pressure a little bit.
Yeah, Coach Ritchie and staff put this defense in a couple years ago. We use it. Forces turnovers. Really, they credit it with beating Louisville last year in Louisville. Cardinals out of the ACC couldn't find a way to knock down a shot against this zone. It really slows teams down, throws them off. They'll stay with the Pioneers and take another look, battle down low. Slauson comes and knocks it away.
Yeah, Slauson coming in for the late rebound there, and part of the reason he's not down low boxing out is because he's kind of playing up top of that 1-3-1, you know, making those passing lanes hard to run through and just, you know, wreaking havoc up top between him and Huey.
Up to JP Pegues, leaves it off. Marcus Foster off the glass, couldn't get it to fall, and tell you what, that's some easy buckets for Jalen Slauson. Thank you for the rebound, and he's now in double digits with 10. Couldn't get an easier look Faxon than that off the front of the rim.
Yes, Slauson gets his 10th point and 3rd rebound right there with a little easy tap in, and he'll be thanking Marcus Foster for that after the game. A little bit of stat padding going on, getting the stats up.
Furman now 6 second chance points, and off the turnover, Foster up to Huey, back to Foster, and tell you what,
wow,
not necessarily the prettiest back and forth, but a nice job staying patient. Timeout taken by Tusculum as the Furman leads up to 17 here at the 4:39 mark of this opening half.
And right there, what a give and go. Huey goes right back to Foster. Just saw him miss the easier layup. This one, he's got to go underhand, scooping it behind, and is able to put it into the basket. And it all starts on the defensive end, Bryant, with Marcus Foster getting that steal.
Carter Witt back in for the Paladins. Here is a really methodical run for Furman over the last 6 minutes. 18-2 run. 9 out of their last 10 as you take a little look, a deeper look rather, into the coaching file of Bob Ritchie. Was an assistant for the Paladins before being elevated when Nico Medved left, who's now at Colorado State. Top 10 among active coaches in that win percentage. And you look at names on that list, pretty impressive with Coach Ritchie and the company of it. And it was fun to see down at the Charleston Classic, Coach Nico Medved, we mentioned at Colorado State, and Coach Ritchie get a chance to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
Those two were interacting after the Furman game versus Penn State before Colorado State played the Gamecocks later that night. And a lot of respect between those two coaches, now, of course, leading their own programs. Tries to lob it in down low. And then a whistle.
Yeah, they're going to get Slauson
for a hold.
Yeah, and, you know, wrapping back to Medved, I mean, talk about how spoiled Furman's been over the past decade and a half or so of basketball. Having Medved as the coach, then having Ritchie as the coach, there's very little drop-off. I would argue there's no drop-off. Furman basketball is kind of peaking right now under Bob Ritchie. This team is a perennial contender in the SoCon, developing players at a great rate. And, you know, if you're a Paladin fan, just be so thankful for what you have here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Can't get it to fall. Lawrence defending down low. Coach Ritchie a nice job as Slauson on the secondary break thought about it. There's the spin move off the glass. That's big-time basketball. But what Ritchie's done is really elevate not only the play on the court, but the facility.
Right.
Locker rooms second to none. Coaches' offices, meeting rooms, film rooms second to none. Next on the docket is hopefully an arena. But what he's done with fundraising and the community involvement and investment, second to none. And you talked about you beat the Gamecocks by 20. Now your plays get noticed for being the flagship university in the state for basketball, and right now a chance to push this lead over 20.
Yeah, and just, wow, Lawrence going to pull another transition three. I guess the bank is open the day after Thanksgiving, Brian. That's his second three ball of the game, and Furman has blown this game open all of a sudden.
Well, he knows it, too. He looked over and had a slight smile as he hit a couple from long range, maybe one a little bit more aesthetically pleasing than the other. Nonetheless, 22-point Furman lead. Backdoor cut.
Good action there.
Three-pointer well off the mark. Tusculum overwhelmed at the moment. Pegues has it poked away, was juggling the basketball, laid it off the glass. J.P. Pegues now with 5.
And Furman's just doing such a good job in transition. They're over 70% from the field now as they're 17 of 24. That's 71%, 67% from beyond the arc at 4 of 6, 100% from the free throw line. If they could play every game like this, I'm sure they would take it from a splits perspective.
West knocks it down, the senior out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Coach Ritchie kind of takes the use it or lose it timeout. He'll go to a full media timeout. Late first half, Furman cruising in control. Pegues in transition off the glass.
Keenan. Hey, Keenan. Looking good.
Feeling good. I just found all these cars on Auto Trader.
Wow.
I wait for the best part there, Microwave. A dealer is going to deliver this car to our home.
Never leave home. Never leave home.
Oh, it's here. There is one thing I can't do from home. Drive.
Someone stop him.
Keenan!
Got your letter, refrigerator.
Roll out.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket.
With my Cricket plan, everything is consistent. It's always going to be the same price. No worries.
Cricket is easy, it's affordable, customer service is top-notch. That's why I've been with them for so long.
I got my phone from Cricket and it's amazing. As a journalist, I use it for basically everything.
Great phones, great deals. Now that's a story. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Let's go. Mom, let me see your phone.
JT Burton leading the Pioneers now in his 5th season and won a postseason game for the first time ever under his tenure. And I'll tell you what, really elevated this Pioneer program, as we mentioned, ranked in the top 10 in the D2 Southeastern poll, rather.
Yeah, you can see why. I mean, it's clear that they've got talent. They've got offense. They've got a copious amount of offense. They want to play at a high pace. Right here, I think they're a little outmanned by Furman. Obviously, one of the best mid-majors in Division I, but, talking about this Tusculum team, definitely going to be a contender for postseason play in Division II and a team to keep your eye on going forward under JT Burton.
Slauson down low, beats the defender, two-handed jam, and anytime Slauson is able to take that baseline spin move, it's going to be tough to stop. He now has 14, lead back at 23.
Yeah, and 7 of 8, only missed one shot thus far, and if I'm not mistaken, he tapped it right back in for another bucket. Jalen Slauson has really stolen the show here this afternoon.
Went into the front court, didn't have numbers, slowed down and leaves it off to Slauson. Hey, what, Furman done a really nice job not settling. I tell you what, might have settled there by Marcus Foster, but he knocks it down. Don't know if Coach Ritchie loved it when it went up, but he liked it when it went down, and now the lead's the largest has been at 26.
Yeah, that's one of those where if you miss it, it's a bad shot. If you make it, you're probably not going to get called out for it in film. So
he might not tell you it's a good shot. He just may not call it out for a bad shot as Tusculum responds. Tusculum now just one of their last 7 from the field. Foster wide open, back-to-back looks. That one doesn't fall. Offensive board, Vanderwall.
Yeah, it's great offense. Even that's a better shot than the one that went in. Funnily enough, that's better offense. That's within the action. What Bob Ritchie wants to see, and another wide open look as the freshman Ben Vanderwall knocks it home.
Tell you what, credit Carter Witt. He passed up a good shot for a great shot, kept it moving around the horn, and the Paladin leads at 27.
And that's how you continue to get minutes as the primary guard off the bench. Carter Witt, just so unselfish, does a good job moving the ball, and does so many things for this team. He's really been locked in defensively as well for the Paladins, averaging over a steal a game.
Almost thrown out of bounds, but saved in a turnover. Furman looking to go quick, gives it right back. Teams trade turnovers under a minute to go. Pull up three-pointer on the way, yes. Knocked down at the top of the key, KJ Crump. He now has 6.
And that's a great pull-up 3 there in transition. We're going to see if Ritchie wants to go 2 for 1 here. It looks like he does, as Joe Anderson will knock down the triple.
Anderson's first point. The Paladins are raining it from long range. Now 7 of 10 from beyond the arc. About a half-second differential shot in game clock. That's a travel.
Yeah, very clear there. You know, if there's one thing Joe Anderson can do, he can absolutely shoot the ball. 44% from 3 this year, almost matching his insane clip from last year. This guy is a pure sharpshooter, and he's added a little bit more of a drive and kick element to his game as well. Another one of these pieces for the Paladins. I feel like I'm beating the drum over and over again, but I can't stress enough how much depth this team has, and you know, it's going to make them very dangerous when conference play hits and when postseason play potentially hits.
Shot clock turned off. Furman tried the backdoor cut, tapped out of bounds. They'll stay with the Paladins with 5.8 here in this first half remaining. Whittaker the inbound. Tell you what, you can practice these, but it's really good to get into half, into game situations and live action. Furman trying to put something together.
Yeah,
to Slauson,
like dribble handoff.
Yep, 3-pointer on the way. Yes, how about that? Executed to perfection. And the Paladins drop a 30-point lead into the locker room thanks to 3-pointers raining down. After a bit of a slow start, getting that turkey out of the system, it's the Paladins up 30 here at the half.
You'd do anything to give her everything. We'll help guide you every step of the way.
Let's go. Mom, let me see your phone.
This isn't Charmin. No wonder I don't feel as clean.
Hurry up, Dad. You've been in there forever.
I'm trying. This cheap stuff is too thin.
I told you not to get the other toilet paper. Here's the new Charmin Ultra Strong.
Ah, my bottom's been saved.
With its diamond weave texture, new Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better with fewer sheets and less effort.
What's everybody waiting for? This?
Okay, hon. We know you're clean.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
People who come to cricket stay with cricket.
With my cricket plan, everything is consistent. It's always going to be the same price. No worries.
Cricket is easy, it's affordable, customer service is top-notch. That's why I've been with them for so long.
I got my phone from Cricket and it's amazing. As a journalist, I use it for basically everything.
Great phones, great deals. Now that's a story. Smile. You're on Cricket.
If you thought one napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough, it's not enough.
This telecast of Furman College basketball is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine, by Bon Secours, healthcare for the University of U, by Ingles, low prices, love the savings, and by Pepsi. That's what I like. Furman in control of the half. Bryant Lambert, Fax, and Childress with you. 57-27. Paladin lead. A little game of holiday knockout going up on the court right now as you take a look at these highlights for the Paladins and the Pioneers. Tusculum shot the basketball early. It was just a one-point game in the under-12.
Yeah, Tusculum came out to a 15-12 lead at one point, and for the Paladins, I said that they really needed to engage defensively. It appears they responded. Coach Ritchie was pretty animated on the sidelines at one point, talking about defense, and his players responded. Furman's got a 30-point lead now, but this was really competitive for about the first 8 minutes or so. Once Furman was engaged defensively, it was all Paladins from there.
9 Paladins saw action in the first half. 8 of them scored. The only one that didn't, Connor Witt, and he contributed with a couple rebounds and an assist. Furman got it going down low, and that really opened up the outside where Furman knocked down 7. Pegues helping out.
Yeah, I mean, 22 from 30 from the field for 73% is absolutely unheard of, and a lot of that is just being patient offensively right there. You see Jalen Slauson get into his spot with the spin move. He dominated out of the high post, and Marcus Foster did a really good job of being patient and playing within the offense. This Paladin offense was just so mature and patient in the first half, and I was very impressed.
Foster led all scorers, 15 in that first half. It was a perfect 3 of 3 from the line, and then it was the defense that really started to get things going. Nice transition there, a little Huey hesitation back to Marcus Foster, who lays it off the glass. And tell you what, there's not one thing that kind of worked for Furman. It's really a conglomeration of all parts on the offensive end that led to this 30-point lead.
It was a balanced attack, which is the most impressive part of that. You know, you shoot 19 twos, 11 threes. You're 73% from both the field and the three-point line. Perfect offensive half, aside from a few careless turnovers from the Paladins, and they'll be looking to tack onto this 30-point lead early in the second half.
It was Tusculum. When they made buckets late, it was through tough Furman defense. There was that nice pass we mentioned by Carter Witt. It all adds up to this 57-27 halftime lead. Stay with the stats coming up on the other side.
Rated E for everyone.
Give my space, no, not to waste, yo. Still better know your place, yo. I ain't slept good in days, yo. On job running up pace, so we too, right? You say so. I'm back on my. You ain't seen no one like me since Roman Hill back in the 90s. Feeling that stuff, yeah, I might be. But I know so.
And just listen to the fans.
PlayStation. Every app order is an entry to win the grand prize.
Self-serve drinks for a year?
Yeah, coffee, soda, even free zoning.
That's disgusting, Bob.
Visit Jollytown in the QT app. Order, win, repeat.
Some days it feels like you could run forever. Until you're way, way out there. And you're 2 hours late and you need a ride home.
This is 100% fresh beef. With 2 slices of melted cheese, pickles, onions, ketchup, and mustard. This is a burger that strongly suggests you take a seat. It marks its territory, leaving behind a graveyard of napkins. And won't be contained by a humble sesame seed bun. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese.
With Metro.
Imagine even more savings involved. Video calling, more sharing every memory. So happy together.
Choose from the largest selection of free 5G phones, only at Metro.
The all-new Hyundai Tucson.
Feels like we're onto something. change is coming.
Welcome to the Chef's Kitchen, where Ingles caters some of the best events anywhere. I'm Josh Michael here with Chef Clark Neal from the Ingles table, and today we're going to show you how to make some amazing food right there at your home. So Chef, what are we doing here today?
Josh, we're going to do my take on chicken sliders with homemade spicy pimento cheese. I've got a rotisserie chicken, the white meat that I took off of the chicken. You can save the dark meat for another use.
And this one that's already done up and cooked right there.
Oh yeah, picked it right up in the Ingles deli, brought it home hot, shredded it myself. You want the chicken to cool down before you make this salad, but what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to have you make this pimento cheese. Okay. We're going to make this with a spicy cheese called rattlesnake. It is tequila and habanero infused white cheddar.
Wow.
You can find that in the specialty cheese case at Ingles.
Pretty hot?
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
All right.
All right, if you'll put that in the bowl.
All right.
Then we've got some Colby Jack cheese that helps tame that heat a little bit.
Gotcha.
We've got some Laura Lynn diced pimentos in a jar that I just drained and rinsed.
Excellent.
A little bit of Laura Lynn mayo. I've got a little bit of spices to round that out, okay. And while you're mixing that up and whipping it together to fold it to make the pimento cheese, I'm going to take a jar of our Unicoi Preserves apple cider pepper spread. This is me and my wife Susie's company, and Ingles carries us in the deli. I've got the shredded chicken that's cooled. I'm going to add this jar of jelly to the bowl.
And that preserve, that is what makes this entire dish. You gotta have that preserve.
That's a little secret ingredient. It's not so secret now because we're showing you how to make it at home. I got a little bit of diced celery. I've got several different spices here. You can find all the ingredients amounts on the recipe that'll be published online. So Josh is folding that together. I'm going to fold this together. We're going to put these on some sweet Hawaiian style slider buns.
I love those.
We got a little bit of green leaf lettuce down on the bottom for crunch. We've got some of those wonderful Ingles deli pickles that they put on their subs to top it for some acidity and crunch. You can buy those right in the deli as well. Josh, how you looking over there?
Just about done there.
All right.
Meat in the middle?
Yeah, I'm going to meet in the middle. The chicken's going to go down first. I'm going to get a little spoon here. Get in here with my hands. Top that lettuce. A little spoonful of that pimento cheese on there.
Yes. Oh, that looks so good, Chef. What a great idea.
Look at that. We're going to top that. That's good. We had time to make one for you and one for me.
Bam. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Chef's Kitchen. For more great recipes and to learn about having the Chef's Kitchen cater to your next event, visit thechefskitchen.com. That's thechefskitchen.com. We'll see you next time.
This is a personalized ad. It helps you find good ideas. This is Jada, who found one. And here's Greg, badly in need of a good idea. You see, you can discover a small business at any moment. Oh look, it's that moment when a good idea helps make a moment a better moment. You get the idea. Good ideas deserve to be found. Personalized ads help you find them.
The all-new Hyundai Tucson.
This is 100% fresh beef. With 2 slices of melted cheese, pickles, onions, ketchup, and mustard. This is a burger that strongly suggests you take a seat. It marks its territory, leaving behind a graveyard of napkins. And won't be contained by a humble sesame seed bun. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese.
When adventure calls, take the road less traveled.
Wow, it's bumpy back here.
Who are you?
I'm from Edmonds. People come to us first to buy or sell their cars. Like, say you want an SUV, but don't want to drive it into the Grand Canyon. We'll help you find a model that fits how you actually drive. You've never put up a tent before, have you?
Oh, we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, we're actors.
Car shoppers go to Edmunds first. We drive it like it is.
Let's dive in.
What about your back?
It's fine!
Advil dual action fights pain 2 ways. Advil targets pain at the source. Acetaminophen blocks pain signals. Advil dual action.
Yeah. Every block counts.
The refrigerator is Greg's happy place.
My kids eat, but I finally figured it out.
We can get all that we need, and then a little bit more at Walmart.
Uh-oh. Now this is going to be...
Tyson Fury. Derek Chisora. Look at this. Coming at you like lions. Something right out again. There is only one.
Taking a look at the first half stats, how the Paladins got this 30-point lead. Shot the basketball facts extremely well, near 75%. And then you look at long range, that was falling as well. Really a team effort on both sides of the ball for the Paladins.
Yeah, a complete offensive effort sparked by, an upping in energy defensively.
Which you called for.
Yeah, I mean, came out a little lackluster on the defensive end, had given up 15 points in 6 minutes to Tusculum, who is capable offensively, but you trail going into the second media timeout, you pick up the energy, you come out, you start forcing some turnovers, and, it's cliche to say offense starts on the defensive end, but for the Paladins, it couldn't be more true. They started getting some easy looks on the fast break and just blew this game open in a hurry.
Rebounding decisively in favor of the Paladins. When you look at points in the paint, that was big for Furman as well when they really had an opportunity to kind of, you say, pass up the good shot for the great shot. Really started going inside out, which worked. You had 28 points in the paint for the Paladins that helped open up those outside looks, and really bench points helped the Paladins as well. When you look at bench points, Furman had 23.
And a lot of that is just having trust in your offense, having trust in your coaching staff, having trust in Bob Ritchie. The looks are going to come in the action, in the workings of the offense. So just to stay patient, know who you are as a team, play to your strengths. It's the number one way to generate offense is to just play your own game and not respond too much what the other team is doing, but just stay within yourself. And that's exactly what Furman did in the first half. That's why their percentages are through the roof with 73, 73, 100 splits in the first half, Bryant.
So Marcus Foster leading the way with 15. Slauson, a very efficient 14, 7 of 8 from the field to help his pace toward a double-double, 4 rebounds, as he's almost a double-double machine through his career. And tell you what, he did it again.
Wow.
You just kind of get used to these dunks game after game, but a nice find on the baseline, one-handed jam.
That's a brilliant set coming out of the halftime break. Bothwell with a beautiful bounce pass, and you see Joe Anderson right there walking back, giving a head tap. Exactly what that was for Jalen Slauson.
Finishing it through a little bit of contact, definitely good defense. Nice spin move off the glass. Good response on the other end as Tusculum gets the ball to go.
And Furman with some pace right there coming out after the made basket, not wasting any time. Bothwell's going to get right to the cup, but that one's going to get swatted out of bounds.
Legist comes over on the help side defense, swatted away. Tell you what, Slauson made SportsCenter top 10 as you take another look at the block. I think came in at number 2 for that incredible reverse alley-oop dunk that he had against Belmont. And tell you what, that got a lot of attention for the common basketball fan for Jalen Slauson. Back-to-back blocked by Legist, and here comes Tusculum the other way.
And a good layup there in transition is Tusculum we see coming out of the half looking to push the pace. Furman's not shy to do it as the ball's already up here, and the Paladins haven't even gotten all 5 players past half court.
Bothwell, nice pass to Anderson. He'll dribble around, pull up at the free throw line, jumper high off the rim, doesn't fall.
That's a little bit of a settle shot there from Joe Anderson. I thought he may have been able to sneak the reverse layup in, but Legist, he's had back-to-back blocks on Bothwell, maybe, sensing a little bit of paint protection that Tusculum lacked in the first half.
Nice hands by Slauson. And then foul in the backcourt as Pegues was trying to bring it up, as hopefully no serious injury. Take another look. Nice job. Coach Ritchie always plays active hands. Tells his team, you got to be moving there. Slauson gets the deflection, prides himself. He keeps the deflections as a stat that he looks at. He says oftentimes deflections have a direct correlation to how your team does on the basketball court and the different metrics. And that's something Richie and his staff have evolved with over the last several years, is the use of analytics. But you can't go too far. And he always talks about there's still the balance of analytics plus what you see on the basketball court and the tactical side of things. And I think Furman's done a really good job of meshing the two, and it's proven the success over the last several years.
Yeah, and balance is something that the Paladins strive for every game in, game out, whether it's offensively, as we're talking about, getting the three-point looks, versus going into the paint, or offense versus defense. Every team strives for balance. I think the Paladins are up there with the best in the country to do it. That's another big play for Slauson with an and one.
Chance to go to the line to complete the three-point play. Take another look. Nice find. And the hesitation. Tell you what, it's not just the primary coaching staff. You have the trainer, Justin Gaines, who's been around the program for many, many years. Assistant strength and conditioning coach, Matt Aldridge, who's dedicated to the men's basketball program and the job he does to keep these guys in their peak performance level, and Justin Gaines to keep them healthy. It's kind of amazing what Coach Richie and the staff have done, not just from a X's and O's standpoint, but bringing all the intangibles for a top-level basketball program, and that's what they have here in Greenville. And when you saw some staff changes in the offseason with Jimmy Williams getting the head coaching job over at Anderson and some other shifts, but an opportunity to bring in Chad Werner, and I still have Jeremy Agro, associate head coach. So a really good kind of continuity of staff and bringing in some fresh thinking.
Yeah, I think culture is what Coach Richie and staff hone in on a lot, and this culture at Furman is great. All these players are bought in, and feel like we're just saying it every time down the court right now that Jalen Slauson's in the paint getting 2 points. But, the culture here at Furman is so great, and you can sense it from the camaraderie, as you were talking about, Brian, to the facilities being upgraded, to just, the unison that the players play in. They go to war for Coach Bob Richie. They go to war for each other, and I think that's something that's so admirable and a lot of programs can't claim across the nation.
Big contact. Foul's going to go against Scott. Pegues will go to the line to shoot two. How about Jalen Slauson? 21 points, 10 of 11 as you see the foul. Furman really attacking the glass. Pegues will go to the line.
I'll tell you, Bryant, if this Furman team is able to win the Southern Conference and get into the NCAA tournament, they are going to be a matchup nightmare for whatever Power 5 school they're playing in round one, because no other mid-major in the country has a 1-2 punch like Mike Bothwell and Jalen Slauson, and their play styles are so different and unique that they can hit you in a couple different ways. And if you add the supporting cast and the depth, that this Paladin squad is going to continue to progress and get better as the season goes on, and they can catch someone off guard in March.
You might say, hey, well, how would Furman do against a team with a lot of size in the Power 5s? Well, Penn State, obviously out of the Big Ten, Furman feels like that game really got away from them. They were down 22, came all the way back. We mentioned cut it to a single possession game before it slipped away. And then they played South Carolina. They got G.G. Jackson, a legit lottery-type NBA pick. Furman just dominates those guys. Former the Southern Conference player Hayden Brown from the Citadel plays for South Carolina. He was a walking double-double in the Southern Conference. He did nothing for the Gamecocks when Furman shut him down. So what's impressive is, if any concern how Furman would handle a team with size, I think they answered those questions down in the Charleston Classic, and really fun for Furman to be on that sort of national stage or those holiday-type tournaments. That's not going to be the last time I think you see Furman in those events, and showed very, very well down in Charleston.
Yeah, and, you talk about, potentially playing a team with size. Garrett Heen and Jalen Slauson is such a good front court, and obviously Heen out today with a little bit of a muscle tightness in his calf. He'll be back very soon, they expect. But, it's not just that, it's the depth. Bringing Tyrese Huey, a guy of his caliber, off the bench, they can throw so many different looks at you in the front court, so many different looks at you on the wing, and they've got so many unique profile players that they can really match up with anyone in the country, and I truly believe that.
Another deflection leads to a turnover. Pegues into the front court, looking to go one-on-one. Tried to find a cutter in the Paladins, turn it over. Active hands by the Pioneers. That's going to be an offensive foul, and Marcus Foster stands in. How about that in a 32-point game? Marcus Foster stands in and takes the hard charge.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, Brian, they're right in front of us with the whole bench for the Paladins absolutely erupted. Let's go, Marcus. Let's go, Foster. Can hear it all throughout the stadium. That's a big play there from Marcus Foster. We know what he's capable of. He struggled a little bit offensively through the tenure of the season, but regardless, he's going to compete defensively. He's going to be in the right spot right there, taking the big charge for the Paladins.
15 points today, and tell you what, not afraid to get down dirty on the defensive end.
Is it safe to say he's kind of broken out of his mini slump offensively with this 15-point show, and he's looking to add more too?
Came in averaging 8 points a game, kind of evolving on that end of the court, and now Looking to go one-on-one, top of the key. Foster hesitates all the way down, keeps his pivot foot, did everything but finish, and he'll stay with the Paladins.
And that's a pro move right there. You know, able to get into the action right there. Pump fake, step through, goes for the right-handed lay, just leaves it a little bit short, but still really impressed with the move from Marcus Foster right there.
Shot clock back to 20. Now Foster, one-on-one against Mitchell. Help comes, turns off the back of the rim. Slauson can't get it to go, was right there on the putback, and Tusculum runs down the rebound.
Yeah, it looked like Slauson may have gotten fouled there, but a good job competing for the long rebound from Tusculum. That was really all created by Jalen Slauson, being patient, recognizing the mismatch, just two makeable looks for the Paladins that didn't happen to drop.
Rebounds 23-10 in favor of the Paladins, and a whistle and a foul. It'll be two more coming at the line for Furman, where they're perfect on the afternoon, 8 for 8. I'll tell you what, we talked about students going, and this place isn't packed like it normally is for home games, but a very, very nice, respectable crowd. There you can kind of see it in the background as Slauson gets hacked on a 2 o'clock Friday after Thanksgiving game. Folks coming out to see the Paladins. First time they've been home in a week and a half, yep.
Yeah, I mean, this the whole athletic department at Furman right now is absolutely killing it in every facet. Talk about football. Got a home playoff game against Elon tomorrow at noon. Basketball, coming off a Southern Conference tournament runner-up status, looking to get over the hump and win the Southern Conference this year. This team just beat South Carolina by 20 points. It's a great time to be a Paladin, Brian.
Coach Clay Hendricks, and you mentioned the football squad, a home playoff game, finished second in the Southern Conference, a game behind Sanford, only one loss, and lost a close game to Sanford, who went on. It'll be a 12 o'clock kick from Paladin Stadium as they host the Elon Phoenix in the first round of the SDF playoffs. The winner of that will go and play Incarnate Word out in Texas, the 7th seed nationally. It's going to be a Paladin foul down low. Will take us to the under-16 media timeout. Furman cruising here, up 30-plus points, thanks to Mike Bothwell and Jalen Slauson getting it done.
Think big. Something life-changing. I'm talking education. Let's get inventive. Blow things up in a good way. Do it for 20 years? Wake up, and education has received billions in funding. Who does all this? If you've ever played one of these or these, that would be you. Yeah, thank you.
This holiday season, Ford wants to help you shine bright. So, this Black Friday, choose a vehicle in stock or simply place a custom order. Lock in your rate and you're protected, even if rates go up before your order comes in. Plus, thousands of vehicles are arriving daily, just in time for the holidays. This Black Friday, lock in this low rate on a new 2022 Ford F-150. Hurry, choose from over 7,000 Ford trucks and SUVs, only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Jewelry has always been the most powerful gift of love, whether it's an engagement or an anniversary. Here at Hales, we're in the business of celebrating your life's most special moments, from the past, the present, and the future. Being Greenville's oldest business means we understand that we're only as good as how you feel when you leave the store. We welcome you to visit our flagship jewelry store.
It's bow time. This is Larry. And this is the big, bold, hand-breaded Bo's chicken sandwich. Larry knew he couldn't. He shouldn't. I mean, he is a chicken after all. But Larry craved this flavor-packed hunk of sandwich. And before he knew it, his little chicken heart belonged to Bojangles forever. Thanks to a sandwich so juicy, so tender, even a chicken wants to eat it.
Larry, people are trying to eat!
Jalen Slauson, the 5th year, 10 of 12, 22 points. Tell you what, he's done it from the outside, getting the ball and showing those spin moves. He's posted up. He's done just about everything, and we talked about what he can potentially garnered nationally attention-wise and draft-wise, and for you, kind of shown all those pieces.
Yeah, and this is why you come back for a 5th year, is to polish your game. Jalen Slauson's a professional basketball player. I feel 100% confident in saying that. If he's not an NBA guy, he's definitely going overseas, and you can see Karl Malone watch list, preseason All-SoCon, won SoCon DPOY last year. This guy can really do it all, and he's elevating his game to a whole nother level right now.
Open three-pointer knocked down. Pioneers now 7 of 19 from long range.
I'll tell you, KJ Crumps came in here and gotten his game off. That's his 4th three-pointer of this game this afternoon, and 4 for 5 from 3 for Crump. He's really shooting the basketball well right now.
Crump with 9 points. Paladins missed one down low. Still above 60%. You're wondering the last time Furman shot more than 60% from the field. That was December in 2020 against South Carolina State. Still a long ways to go, but just a couple years ago, Furman eclipsed 60%.
Yeah, and
from the field.
The Paladins have got 67 points here in about 25 minutes of play. And Brian, I honestly feel like it could be 77 points. They've missed some bunnies right at the rim. Huey doesn't make the mistake twice of missing the layup right there. Great job of rim running down the lane and puts that one in.
I saw it late. Really nice catch to corral it and finish almost under the basket.
Great adjustment there.
Furman's mixed in some defense at the time. Now half-court man-to-man. Another three-pointer on the way, woefully short. Out of bounds, and it will be Paladin basketball. Bothwell out, Joe Anderson back in for the Paladins.
Yeah, an interesting lineup here from Coach Bob Ritchie. Maybe it's time for a little bit of experimenting as you're up 30 points. Got the home game here. Witt, Anderson, Vanderwall, Lawrence, and Huey. I like it. Provides some versatility, but a weird grouping.
And get an illegal screen going against Tyrese Huey. Caught him. See if he can't take another look. Maybe backing down his defender down the lane. And Coach Ritchie looked for an explanation. There's another look, and there you see maybe shuffled and thought he was trying to call the moving screen or post up. Really depends how you look at that, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the call is there. Coach Ritchie and staff were not very pleased with that one, even in a 30-point game. Looked like he was just, alley ceiling, trying to get the ball on the post up, and was called for the offensive foul. Maybe the ref saw it a little bit differently, but Huey trying to make up for it, battling on the sidelines right there, trying to get the steal.
12 turnovers have led to 16 Furman points from the Pioneers. Furman 9 turnovers, only 5 points off those for Tusculum. As you would expect, Furman dominating the boards, out-rebounding Tusculum 26-12 here early second half. Olden thought about a three, and Vanderwall will get charged with the block. Third team foul here.
That's Ben's second block of the game, where he's just been a little bit out of position, but I love his eagerness to be willing to take charges, put his body on the line for this team. As a freshman, that's how you play your way into the rotation, and that's exactly what Ben Vanderwall has done. Knocking down open shots, you're in the right spot on defense, you're making effort plays to try and help your team, and these are some valuable minutes. People may not think that 14 minutes left, 30-point game, it doesn't matter, but these guys are all playing for minutes in the rotation, especially for a team like Tusculum. You're trying to get your stats. You're trying to prove to your coach, JT Burden, that you deserve a little bit more playing time as well. So a lot to still play for here in Timmons Arena.
Shot clock now down to 7. Contested elbow jumper short. Offensive rebound taken down by Legist. And he'll go to the line for 2. Legist, who we came in highlighting, been, I'd say, relatively quiet. 6 points, handful of rebounds there. He'll go to the line on the O board to go for 2. And tell you what, maybe a little ticky-tack.
Yeah, I'm not sure I 100% agree with that one, but a big reason that Legist has been quiet is just Jalen Slauson's, defensive prowess. We talked about it a little bit earlier. He's the 2021 Southern Conference Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. He's done a good job of shutting Legist down, and Slauson just has such a unique skill set defensively, averaging 2 steals and a block this year for a reason. He's so quick and long that it's a matchup nightmare for a guard, because you could switch. You can switch him on a guard, and he can also man up against your best big man and hold his own against either. So just a weapon defensively, and then obviously you're seeing too what he can do on offense. Just really has come around this year as a complete player, and I know Coach Bob Ritchie and staff are so proud of him.
Second free throw was good. Stops a scoring drought of a little over 2 minutes for the Pioneers. Lead still north of 30. Furman's largest has gotten up to 33 earlier this half. Witt three-pointer coming off the curl screen and knocks it down. It's a quick release there for the transfer.
Yeah, that's great offense, and that's just great recognition. And it's Carter Witt getting comfortable within this offense. You know, people forget this is only his 6th game here coming from Wake Forest. He has that sense of comfortability now, lets it fly right there, and clips it home for 3.
Bench points now adding up. Palin is near 30 coming off the bench. And tell you what, no one cuts off Anderson. Did everything but make the layup. Goes off the front of the rim, quickly the other way with it is Thunderbird.
Yeah, but if you're Bob Ritchie right there, you're pleased with that shot. Joe Anderson showing aggressiveness, you know, able to recognize the hole in the defense, and a bit reckless there from Huey in transition, as Tusculum's gonna have a chance on the other end to get 2. But you don't hate that shot. Inside hand layup, it's a good look.
Gotta credit. Pioneers still playing tough, trailing by 32. That foul will be the 6th on Tusculum, as both teams are trying to get up and down the hardwood. We just did everything but make the layup. Credit Joe Anderson coming up to put a little bit of pressure. Furman now 63% from the field.
Yeah, twin setup here. It looks like a double stagger away. They're looking for Witt, and he's got the mismatch now on the big man. He'll settle for a 3.
Well, Vanderwall, freshman, noticed it short, able to run it down. Shot clock doesn't reset, so now it's 6. Anderson over to Witt. Now with 3 to shoot, Vanderwall, long three-pointer on the way, front rims it, out of bounds, and tell you what, Vanderwall is pleading it hit the rim. I think they're saying it was out of bounds off the Paladin, so Tusculum basketball as we approach the second media timeout.
And a little bit of zone action here from Paladin, switching it up.
There, see a good look there. It does hit off the rim and off Johnny. Great job by Jeff Schetzel and his crew. Working hard to bring you a little holiday basketball. Will be Pioneer basketball when we come back. Furman cruising here in Greenville.
Your run doesn't have to look perfect. It doesn't have to be epic. And this one does not have to be posted on social.
When adventure calls, take the road less traveled.
Wow, it's bumpy back here. Who are you? I'm from Edmonds. People come to us first to buy or sell their cars. Like, say you want an SUV, but don't want to drive it into the Grand Canyon. We'll help you find a model that fits how you actually drive. You've never put up a tent before, have you?
Oh, we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, we're actors.
Car shoppers go to Edmonds first. We drive it like it is.
It's a beautiful time for basketball. Where freaks challenge kings. You know I'm dunking on these balls like a bronco. We in the rack with the rose and dynasties old and new collide. Steph Curry, I'm a warrior, shots Lakers Bucks in a special all-cast with Stephen A. Part of a doubleheader Friday on ESPN. NBA on ESPN time.
True story. If you want to stand out, you have to cross enemy lines. Ohio State, Duke, North Carolina, Indiana. Experience the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Begins tonight at 7:15 on ESPN.
Furman in control, up 72-40. Also going on right now, facts in the U.S. in the World Cup, taking on England. That 0-0 in the second half. But Furman connection, Walker Zimmerman, former defender for Coach Doug Allison here at Furman, one of the starting 11 in this World Cup. Really cool Paladin connection. Of course, Clint Dempsey, a lot of former U.S. standouts connection, and then shows Doug Allison and the Furman soccer legacy here in Greenville.
Yeah, Brian, I know we were both on our respective soccer games this season, got a chance to call a couple of those together, and Doug Allison just so impressive with player development, you know, always a contender in the SoCon as well, competed in the SoCon tournament, and took that one down to the wire when Jake Rain got back from injury this year. Jalen Slauson continues to dominate this game. Good Lord. But
yeah, Walker starting, you know, and he and his wife Sally, generous donors to Furman University, giving back, but one of many professional athletes that have come through Greenville as that shot's off the mark. Offensive rebound, nice hesitation move off the glass, put back in by Connor Jordan.
Yeah, and Walker Zimmerman, two-time MLS Defender of the Year as well. So just a heck of a resume he continues to establish here just in the world of soccer.
Nice backdoor pass off the glass for Bothwell. He's now in double digits with 11. Furman sharing the basketball. 28 made field goals for 20 assists. How about that?
Yeah, that's an incredible pass backdoor, and that's just two fifth-years connecting and linking up. That's team chemistry right there. And if we couldn't, you know, give Jalen Slauson any more credit, that'll be a block. I think he was on the line. Slauson 4 assists a game almost this year as well. You could argue he's one of the best playmakers on the team as well. Very comfortable out of the high post passing, very comfortable up top passing, very comfortable when he gets with the ball in those twin sets, passing out of those as well. Such a good screener, just has such a good recognition for the game. So, you know, to call him an all-around player would be an understatement. I really do think he's going to get a look to play in the NBA, Brian.
A lot of eyes and heads turned when both Bothwell and Slauson announced they are coming back for their 5th season here in Greenville. Put Furman as the favorites in the Southern Conference. They'll be tested. Furman will head up to Boone in their next time out. A tough Appalachian State team that knocked off ETSU yesterday in Johnson City. That's another tough place to play.
Yeah, App State's got a solid squad, and I think it just goes to show that Bob Ritchie and the Paladins aren't scared to schedule tough out of conference. You know, obviously, you play 3 really good teams in the Charleston Classic, able to defeat South Carolina there, take a close loss to Penn State, who will be in the tournament, and then they just continue to add more teams.
Reverse layup falls off the front of the rim. Just Slauson's 3rd missed on the afternoon, 10-13. Is nice job taking it to the rack there. Funderburk, the junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina, now gets his name in the score sheet.
Great up and under by Funderburk there in transition. Really good poise, really good speed, and really good control.
Pegues bodying down low. Turnaround jumper, does everything but fall. Good look there for Pegues. Just caught all sides of the iron, didn't fall. Paladin is now under 60% at 59% from the field.
Yeah, and Paladin's got a chance to make a play in transition here. Another turnover, it appears. No, Marcus Foster's going to track that one down. Lay it in for 2.
Foster now with 17. He's leading all scorers. Crump, the only double-digit scorer for Tusculum with 12. There's a nice job by Foster, letting the defender fly by and laying it in. See, nothing easy against this Furman defense. Hand in passing lanes, challenging everything. And there, another deflection.
Yeah, and Foster obviously has the 17 points as a bucket there for Tusculum, but I think this has been his best defensive game of the season as well. He's been super active in passing lanes, great on the ball there, forces his way to the basket and draws another foul. He's putting together a heck of a game here and a really complete game, kind of embracing that 6-man role in a bit of a different look lineup for the Paladins.
Take another look, good take to the bucket. There'll be 2 coming up at the line for Foster. That's the 2nd foul against Brown. First free throw is good. Furman now 10 of 11 from the charity stripe. Came in about 70% from the field, from the line on the season. Back in for the Paladins, Huey. And now we're going to see a bit of that 1-3-1 trapping half-court zone. And tell you what, you put a big at the top like Huey, uses a lot of time. They're a nice job stepping in by Connor Jordan to knock it down. And that's the way you have to get Furman out of that zone, is hit the open 3-pointers. If you're not shooting the basketball well, it can be a disastrous defense to try to get through.
Yeah, and Huey muscles his way inside there for 2. But Bryant, you know, I know it's a 30-point game. I don't feel like Tusculum's been bad on the offensive side of the ball. They've definitely got some shooters. You can see why this is a nationally acclaimed team in their respective level of Division II.
Tusculum's hit their last 4 from the field. That one now 4 of their last 5. They've hit 8 3-pointers. 8 of 23, 9. Baxton, you do make that play. I was about to give you a hard time and say you have to make that play. Tell you what, you're getting some props from the official.
Little one hand out to the side action right there.
Tell you what, I'll be honest, I didn't think you had it. Your reaction time was a tad slow. It was behind you, but you tipped it to yourself. You know what?
It's about recovering.
Now I trust you if it's coming at me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to try to make the play. I'm just going to sit back and let you play. Tell you what, we might have to get that in consideration for the play of the game. It's Huey, nice pass down the middle, corrals it, can't make the layup.
I would take the play of the game. If Jeff and Co got a package ready.
I'll tell you what, that is, we'll have to go. You were the Slauson dunk. Yeah, I mean, that's where, you know what we'll do? Maybe at the under 8, we'll get you out there and see if you can dunk, and then we'll consider it. Long 3-pointer on the way by Thunderbrook is good. Tell you what, this Tusculum team can shoot the rock.
Yeah, they can. And Bryant, and a dunk in a suit might be a tall ask. If you get me in some basketball shoes on a great day,
don't even try.
I can rim graze. We're going to call it rim grazing.
Here, Pegues has it stripped, getting a little bit sloppy for the Paladins. Now 11 turnovers. Under 8, Furman still in control, up 27. And here is that media timeout. Tusculum is not down 8 from long range, but still down 27 here with 7:57 to go.
When you buy Diamond from Hales, you're getting us. We know what it means to see a smile, to see that reaction when you get that engagement ring. And we take great pride in that stone being absolutely the most beautiful diamond it possibly could be. It's about the smile that it creates when someone opens that box. We've put our life and our soul in picking that diamond, especially for you.
It's bow time. This is Larry. And this is the big, bold, hand-breaded Bo's chicken sandwich. Larry knew he couldn't. He shouldn't. I mean, he is a chicken after all. But Larry craved this flavor-packed hunk of sandwich. And before he knew it, his little chicken heart belonged to Bojangles forever. Thanks to a sandwich so juicy, so tender, even a chicken wants to eat it.
Larry, people are trying to eat.
Hey, girls! Hi. Are you kidding me? Is that for me?
How?
Oh, can't wait to see what you got your mother.
The BMW Road Home Sales Event, on now. Through November 30th, your purchase of a new BMW will help provide 200 meals to local families in need.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do the do.
You fired up the grill for one hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dogs, better with Pepsi.
Taking a look at Frank Selvey, recently turned 90 years old. He was honored on Frank Selvey night when the Paladins played Belmont, was inducted into the National College Basketball Hall of Fame. There you see his jersey high above the rafters. We'll never have number 28 again. 100 points in a game. I'll tell you what, we could go the last 7:57 talking about the accolades of Frank Selvey.
Yeah, an absolute legend, and not just this program's history, but college basketball history. He mentioned the infamous 100-point game, and just so much more on top of that, and such a legend in the college basketball landscape as a whole.
Will be Furman basketball out of the timeout, up 27 here at the under 8. Bothwell down the left side of the lane. Help doesn't come. Nice job staying down with it. Now 13 points. Again, this patient Furman offense, really in all facets, not necessarily saying, hey, use the shot clock, but they're down low, not forcing it, realize you have time.
Yeah, and a great drop step there from Bothwell, recognizing that he has the strength and size advantage down low, goes to that left hand and banks one home.
Tough jumper. Slauson with the rebound. He now has 9 rebounds, one shy of a double-double. Slauson a little bit out of control. Watch out. This is where he sizes up a block. Tough reverse layup. I'll tell you what, Slauson doesn't get the block there, but he should get absolute credit for that reverse layup miss, as they smelled and felt and did about every sense of Slauson running down the court.
Yeah, he made Connor Jordan go for what would have been an incredible reverse layup, and a great backdoor cut right there as Vanderwall put it home. This Furman offense is just flowing and have no plans of slowing down. How about Jalen Slauson again? It feels like this is a highlight reel for him in this game at this point. Backdoor cut again, perfect bounce pass right on the money.
4 assists as another 3-pointers knocked down. I would say 4 assists for Slauson. How about 10 3-pointers now for the Pioneers? And tell you what, shot the basketball well. They're still above 40%. If they weren't shooting well, imagine what this could be as Furman turns it over on the double dribble.
Yeah, and you know, Funderburk, Crump, and Jordan really sticking out as the shooters on this team. And then obviously Jalen Crowder, the leading 3-point shooter on the squad coming into the game. Hasn't done much. He had a 3-ball early, but this team definitely has capable shooters. And Furman, over this last 6 minutes, going to be a focal point to get hands up and, you know, not give them open shots from the 3-point line.
Nice bank. And now Tusculum showing some grit, 84-58. Let's see why their offense can be very, very dangerous and why they're averaging in the 80s. As Bothwell seems to be getting everything he wants when he wants it.
Yeah, it's just a tough move from Mike right there. Gets to his right hand and lays one home. And only 15 points. He's averaging 20 coming into the game, but he's added 3 rebounds and 5 assists as well. Kind of taking a little bit more of a playmaking role, the leading assist man for the Paladins today.
Vanderwall bumped from behind, no call. Looked like some contact and no whistle. Quickly the other way, 3-pointer on the way. That's off the back of the rim, offensive rebound. And then another 3 knocked down. That's 11 from long range. Timeout taken by Bob Ritchie. And it's a 23-point game with 5:25 to go. Tusculum playing strong, trying to cut into this Paladin lead here with 5:25 to go.
Some days it feels like you could run forever. Until you're way, way out there. And you're 2 hours late and you need a ride home.
With Metro. Imagine even more savings and more video calling, more sharing every memory, so happy together.
Choose from the largest selection of free 5G phones, only at Metro.
This season at Big O, we would like to give thanks. Thanks for the splashes being a little bigger, the trails a little longer, and more toys to tow. But mostly, thank you. Thank you, Upstate. And to say thanks, during the Black Friday sales event going on all month long, get 0% on select new Ram 1500s. Find that and a great selection of new Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram models only at Big O under that big American flag on the Motor Mile.
There are still too many bad burgers out there. So Arby's is running that Wagyu Steakhouse burger back. Arby's, we have the meat.
Paladins up 86-63. He's led by as many as 34 on this Friday after Thanksgiving. Furman home briefly before we mention they'll hit the road for a game at Appalachian State, and then they'll have a little week-long homestand where they have 3 in a row that we'll get into. But tell you what, Coach Rich doing that timeout talking to the officials saying, hey, just because it's a 20-something point game, can't forget about some of the calls. You said, hey, that battle down low, Vanderwall looks like got checked from behind, and you don't want to dissect it. Tough job there, but if you want everybody to keep playing, you need the whistles to keep coming too. And there's Huey, knocks down the 3 out of the timeout.
Yeah, Huey's so impressive to me as a player. 73% from the field, 45% from 3 coming into this game. The epitome of efficiency out of a big man. And to have the luxury to be able to have a big off the bench to step out and shoot the 3 ball. You got 2 of them now with Lawrence back from injury. It's just, you know, the rich get richer here at Furman.
Bothwell down low, through contact, count it. And a foul, and a chance to go to the line for the 92nd point of the night. Bothwell now with 17. Again, another way if he's just backing down his defender, almost like a post to get the easy look.
Bothwell's scoring arsenal is just so versatile. He can beat you in so many ways. A true 3-level scorer, and that's not just finishing at the rim on drives. As you're saying, Bryant, this is 3 possessions in a row where he's backed down his defender, able to hit a drop step, a hook, and a fadeaway. And there, money from the free throw line as always. He'll probably exit for the rest of this one with 4:42 left, but another great performance from Mike Bothwell, having 18, 4, and 5 on the day.
Slauson checked out with 22 points and 10 rebounds, so he cranks up another double-double for the 5th year. Lead back close to 30 at 29 as we approach 4.5 remaining, and they're going to get a legal screen off the ball. I'll be back over to the Paladins.
Yeah, and right there, maybe getting the call that Bob Ritchie was appealing for at the break, and you know, Vanderwall very clearly got hit in the back of the head before the break. There was no call there. We were both a little shocked by that, but maybe a bit of the old give back call right there.
Furman now really, the question is, the Paladins going to hit 100. Last time Furman scored 100, that was just last season at Western Carolina on February 16th. Furman dropped 103 up in Cullowhee. Final media timeout at the next whistle. Only final or thing in doubt will be the final score. I'll tell you what, Paxton, you got to tip your cap, give all the credit to Tusculum coming in here, playing strong, playing full 40 minutes, outmatched, but you see big things coming for JT Burton and his Pioneer squad this year. It's Marcus Foster. Wow. What an afternoon for Marcus Foster. Give him 22.
Yeah, Foster and Slauson competing for that leading scorer role today, and Foster might be able to take it off of him. But yeah, wrapping back to what you said about, you know, Burton's Pioneers coming in this building. Got 65 points and counting. They make it to 70. This is an offensive dynamo in D2. Don't think they've got the athletes maybe to hang defensively with a Slauson or a Bothwell indicative in the scoreline. But, you know, for a Division II team, I've been very impressed.
Foster, can he do it again? That's on line, a bit too strong. Vanderwall battles and gets the board. Here's Tyrese Huey trying to get into double digits. He has 9 on the afternoon, make it 11. Timeout by Furman for the under 4. He may clear the bench. We'll let you know. Furman 11-0 run, back up 32 here in Greenville.
Some days it feels like you could run forever. Until you're way, way out there. And you're 2 hours late and you need a ride home.
The all-new Hyundai Tucson.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket.
Cricket is easy, it's affordable, customer service is top-notch. That's why I've been with them for so long.
With all that, I'd stay a while too. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Let's go.
Mom, let me see your phone.
If you already know that a blend of tender, marbled Wagyu beef makes the best burger, good for you. Arby's Wagyu Steakhouse Burger is back. You beef genius? Arby's, we have the meat.
Career high 22 points for Marcus Foster. Give him 7 rebounds to go with it. The redshirt junior out of Atlanta. Tell you what, showed what he could do down low. Hit something from beyond the arc. Was perfect for the free throw line. If he's contributing in those kind of numbers, yet another weapon.
Yeah, and coming into this game, Marcus Foster was averaging 8 and 4. Not shooting too hot from the field or 3. That's going to change with the performance today. We're confident in Marcus Foster and what he's capable of, and I know the staff is as well, getting a chance to showcase it here today against Tusculum.
Rhett Lister, junior out of Easley, South Carolina, in the game for the Paladins. And then Lister gets the weak side rebound. We'll see if he can get a shot. He scored earlier this year against North Greenville. Of course, that team coached by his dad, and he was all smiles about that one. They gave him a hard time for maybe cherry picking. He just said it was a good job of reading that the ball was going to be deflected, and he was in the right spot at the right time there. Another good pass, and Furman sitting on 99.
Yeah, that one was a fun call, Brian, and a lot different of a game here today for the Paladins against the Pioneers than we saw against the Crusaders. The 3-ball dropping at a much higher rate.
Furman 61% from the field. 3-pointer on the way, that one's off the mark. Carter Witt with the rebound, under 2 to go.
Looking to get to the 100-point mark here. An ankle breaker from Witt drops it off to Huey, and 101 on the board for the Paladins.
Huey now with 15, and the Paladins do cross the century mark. Tusculum takes a timeout and take a look at the upcoming schedules. First, for Tusculum, they'll play Lees-McRae and then hit the road for Lincoln Memorial as they get into their conference play in the SAC. And conference tournament for the SAC usually is here at Timmons Arena, so kind of a dual benefit. You get to play Furman, get that experience, but then you get to play in the arena you're hoping to play in the SAC tournament.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, they've campaigned to me that I'm going to come out for the SAC tournament and watch this Tusculum team play. Such a high-powered offense, and you know, when you're scoring 91, giving up 81 a game thus far in the season, you're playing an entertaining brand of basketball.
Talked about Furman hitting the road to Boone to take on a very good Appalachian State team, then home for 3, and that Winthrop matchup, always a fun series. And then, tell you what, don't sleep on the Paladins up in Raleigh, December 13th on the ACC Network, a chance to go in and knock off another Power 5 opponent in the Wolfpack.
Yeah, the Wolfpack have got Terquavius Smith, likely first-round pick in the NBA draft upcoming this year. Got a little bit more talent than they did last year, but not picked in the top 10 of the ACC preseason. I think that's a winnable game for the Paladins.
Furman, who's picked off in recent years, Louisville, Loyola Chicago after their Final Four run, Villanova. They have the recipe to how to win those big games and do it in impressive fashion here. They're doing what they're supposed to do against Tusculum, a nice 15-2 run over the last 3-10 to close the game out strong. And for Furman as well, Blake Harris, the junior out of Greenville, South Carolina, sees some action. Long 3-pointer on the way, knocked down. How about Kobe Funderburg? He now has 14 and 4 from the 3-point range.
Yeah, 50% from 3 for Funderburg on the day, now 4 of 8, and he's really shooting the ball at an efficient clip.
Witt, top of the key, open. That one's short. Battle for the rebound, out of bounds. Should be an O. I was going to say last touch by the Paladins will be Tusculum basketball.
Yeah, it was Blake Harris recently inserted into the game fighting for that one. It did look like it was out on the Pioneers from our angle, but ref calls it Tusculum ball.
Skip pass near side, thought about a 3, now cutting through the lane as Mitchell gets the roll.
A good skip pass there, and Tusculum to the 70-point mark. Another solid offensive showing for JT Burton's Pioneers.
Nice pass to Johnny Lawrence down low. He's hacked. There'll be 2 upcoming at the line. Johnny Lawrence, who missed the first couple games, and tell you what, player that's saying, hey, how can I get into the rotation? Maybe seeing some time with Heen not suited up here this afternoon for precautionary reasons. But tell you what, Furman gets a game in foul trouble. They need a spark off the bench. We talked about that he saw action against Penn State and helped spur on that comeback. So tell you what, a player that, you know, has battled injuries most of his career, but showing some pieces together here in his redshirt junior campaign.
Yeah, and you know, another year of eligibility. When Slaw leaves next year, you got to assume that Johnny Lawrence will assume a bigger role for this Paladin team, and he's got the size and shooting combination to play himself into some minutes.
About a 12-second differential. And shot and game clock. Lawrence will fire quick trigger threes. Made a couple. I'll tell you what, how quickly he gets his shot off is impressive. Now Tusculum will have likely one more possession, trying to cut the lead down under 30. Tell you what, credit Tusculum this second half, played Furman relatively almost even after falling down by 30 in that opening half. Shot clock turned off now, 28-point game.
Yeah, and that's the last 4 for Tusculum. A little bit of laziness here late from the Paladins defensively, and might run through their set here, might hold it out, but the final result will be a Paladin win, Bryant.
Yeah, Furman will move to 4-2 on the season. Tusculum takes the loss in what is technically an exhibition game for the Pioneers. But Furman looked good in that first half, was in cruise control all second half, 102-74. There you see Coach Ritchie, Coach J.T. Burton exchange some conversations. You take a look here at the play of the game as we get facts on your final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. Paladins cruise offensively, did a good job of competing on the defensive end, and really was able to turn that into offense. If you're Furman, you just got to continue to compete on defense to become that complete team we know they can be.
Furman shoots 60% from the field. Taking a look at the play of the game, sponsored by BMW. Hello, Jalen Slauson comes down that baseline for the one-handed jam, 22 points, 10 rebounds, double-double. Take another look at it. The assist from Mike Bothwell. I'll tell you what, we probably be able to choose most games this year. Which dunk of Jalen Slauson will be the bay of the game, sponsored by BMW. Partner, enjoyed a little holiday hoops with you. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a great one here at Timmons Arena. Jalen Slauson put on a show.
For Jeff Schetzel, his entire ESPN crew, he's Fax and Childress. I'm Bryant Lambert saying so long from Greenville for your final score. Furman 102, Tusculum 74. Folks, have a good holiday weekend. Happy late Thanksgiving.
Rich chocolate layers sprinkled with festive peppermint. With love from San Francisco. Ghirardelli Peppermint Bark Squares. Makes the holidays a bite better.
When Wingstop made a chicken sandwich, you know they wouldn't make just one. Now you can have 12 new sauce and toss favorites, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, and OG hot. So try the new chicken sandwich for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Jimmy, my man up there, we are not going to stop chasing the dream of raising dollars in your dream. Jimmy's dream was to beat cancer.
You look up not giving up in the dictionary, a picture of my wife would be there.
You're one of the strong ones, okay? Just remember that.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Only a handful of teams remained, all vying for a spot in the playoff, for the right to call themselves national champions.